Hey guys, what's going on? This is poweromenesko coming at you with another Battlefield 3 jet tutorial. This one's called Power Up Earning Your Wings. That's right, we're going to go over a few things here. First, learning the difference between flying a jet and driving a jet. 2, we're going to go over when to use afterburners and when to use brakes. And 3, we're going to talk a bit about stalling and what it means to stall in Battlefield 3. So first of all, we'll get started right away by saying this is one of a few jet videos I've put up here by request for Battlefield 3. Battlefield 3 is a lot of fun. It's a first-person shooter, also incorporates vehicles, which does make it different than Call of Duty. I play both Call of Duty and Battlefield 3. You can join me playing either of these games on PlayStation Network and the PlayStation ID, poweromenesko. See the description to add me as your friend. So here we go. Let's talk about maneuvering or flying a jet as opposed to driving a jet. Now when I fly, I use the default layout. I haven't changed anything other than what Battlefield's provided here. But when I am flying a jet, I want to point out a few things. First, if you're just starting out, it is not easy. It's not necessarily intuitive. Most people, I understand, are going to have a difficult time getting into a jet for their first time and being able to fly naturally. So there's a few things I'd like to point out, and I think this will help. First, stick with the right stick. And of course your right stick can go in a variety of different directions, but primarily you can move your right stick up, down, left, and to the right. Now using this on your right stick will do a variety of different things to your jet, but overall when you're just starting, I want you to focus on the left, the right, and the down. Let me tell you why. Whatever way the top of your jet is facing, that will be the direction that your jet will turn when you pull down on the right stick. That's why I think this is such an important part of flying a jet. Here's a quick routine that you can do to get better at flying your jet once you get off the runway. First, move your stick to the right 90 degrees so that you're perpendicular to the ground. Then move your stick again 90 degrees so you're parallel to the ground, but your jet is upside down. Move it 90 degrees again so you're perpendicular, and then another 90 degrees so you've made a very, very slow barrel roll. Taking this time to learn how to use the jet, even if it is during a live multiplayer match, is going to help you out in the long run. After all, there is no tutorial and learning experience or practice run or anything like that in Battlefield 3. What you get is what you have right in front of you. You've got 300 tickets, 250 tickets, however many you have, 100 tickets, and it's up to you to make sure that you're flying the jet the best that you can. Once you've started to get down the simple maneuvers by practicing over and over, I do fully believe that you've probably seen yourself using the up portion of your right analog stick already. What I typically find is that that up portion of the right analog stick is used more as a corrective measure than a directional measure. So, as I mentioned before, by focusing on the left, the right, and the down in order to drive your jet, I think you'll begin to maneuver like a true pro. Now let's talk about when to use and how to use the afterburners and the brakes on the jet, and how important they are when it comes to searching for targets and when you are a target. First, we'll start out with the brakes. The brakes in the default Battlefield 3 layout are used by holding down the L2 button. You can minimize the angles of your turn by decreasing the thrust using the brakes on your jets, making yourself more of a acute angle, if you will. Now, one thing that using your brakes doesn't do is it does not provide your jet any sort of hairpin turns, or I know in the campaign there's a portion where the jet just loses all of its thrust. You won't be doing any of that here in the multiplayer portion, although that would be pretty cool. No, instead you'll actually be using the brakes to either slow down like I am here. You can visibly see it slow down, so I can maneuver out of the way of that tower and go for this kill here. Or you can use it when you're trying to make a tight turn, as I mentioned before. Once you've got the brakes figured out, you'll also realize that when you're getting shot at, the brakes probably aren't the best thing to have on. Instead, what you'll want to use there is the afterburner. The afterburner increases the speed of your jet and also makes turning angles wider. So if you are being chased by someone and you want to just burn them and get as far away as you can, the afterburner will help you in your straight line. However, if you're trying to lose someone by taking a quick turn, I would not recommend using the afterburners and trying to make turns quickly. Here I've used an afterburner to go forward and then hold down the brake to make a quick turn here. To apply the afterburners in your jet, press down and click the L3 button or the left analog stick. I specifically use the afterburner in two scenarios. The first is when I'm trying to get out of the map as quick as possible, hoping that nobody sees me, in order to come back, turn around, and make another strafing run against the targets either on the ground or in the air. The second time I'm using the afterburner is when I think that someone may have a lock-on with a stinger on the ground, and I need to get as much distance as I can by climbing straight up into the air with my afterburner on. Here I'm just trying to gain as much altitude as possible and hopefully get out of the range of the stinger, which is of course on the ground. That allows for a great segue into actually describing what stalling is. Stalling is when you take your aircraft up about 800 to 900 meters into the air. You'll hear a sound like a booming sound over your headphones or your TV, and your jet will lose control. You won't be able to turn and or pitch or yaw or anything like that. You'll be out of control. What you need to do to avoid stalls is once you get to about 800 meters, even out your jet. I would even say to about 750. Stalling can be the number one way to kill enemies, but also result in the number one way that you get killed yourself. So here we've learned three things. One, we've gone over some basics into maneuvering. Two, we've talked about how to thrust and also how to brake. And three, we've gone over the actual logistics of stalling. Don't go above 800 meters, you'll find yourself stuck. So here we go. After a long dogfight, I finally get a chance to take down somebody. It proves to be fruitful in the end, and I head off into the sunset, prepping for another Battlefield 3 jet tutorial. Thanks for watching, folks. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. We'll see you next time as we go into advanced maneuver.